What is up, everybody? Welcome into the 31st episode of the Full Coverage Football Show. We're finally back. It feels like we have been gone forever, dealing with pandemic stuff and dealing with some family issues and all kinds of other issues we have not been back on. And we want to thank everybody who's joining us tonight and anyone who's listened to the show before and been a part of the show, and everyone who's just been a part of the show, and all those who are reaching out, like, where you guys been, what's going on. Well, guess what? We're back. This is the Full Coverage Football Show. We are live here on Facebook.com/FCFSPod. My name is Jeremy. Shortly, we will be joined by Drew, my co-host. And for those of you listening on the audio version, we're going to try to explain things a little more clearly. We're going to get better at that. You can listen to the audio version on Spotify, iHeart, Google Pods, Apple Pods, basically anywhere you listen to podcasts. And tonight, we got a hell of a fun show for you. We're going to talk NBA. We're going to talk Kyrie Irving's league, the Kinspoba, as I once called it. We're going to talk golf for Drew. We're going to talk baseball. But first, we're going to start with Around the NFL, and we're going to do that in just a second as we bring on Drew here. So let's get into the show. Let's bring in the man, Drew.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Welcome back.
Hey, man, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. And before we even get started, we got to know what's going on with the squirrels. This is the update.
So everybody, cross them out there. Haven't heard any squirrels. Now, it doesn't mean I'm out of the water. Now, now we're talking about moving. So we'll see. But no squirrels so far, so that update's good. The squirrel situation is good as of now. I need people to keep me in their thoughts and prayers so that it doesn't come back.
It's good to hear. I mean, I didn't even think about it until I was setting up the banners for tonight. And we've all had all kinds of other stuff going on. Yes. And I'm like, man, we have not talked about the squirrels. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since we've been back, and we had to know about the squirrels. So good.
Well, I mean, the country was kind of burning down there for a couple weeks. My squirrel situation kind of took a back seat to real life.
And that's why tonight we're not going to talk about that. I mean,
yeah, I'm good with that.
Everyone else is talking about it. We've heard about it. We know what's up. And yeah, we talked about it in our last episode. We brought up the George Floyd stuff. But tonight, for our sake, for everyone else's sake, let's get into something fun and get our minds off of all the BS and crap going on in the world, because that's what we need. We need some fun. So let's go around the NFL. Let's open it up. This is the Full Coverage Football Show. Around the NFL is going to start with Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams, who it feels like for the last 6 years has been looking for a contract extension, when in reality it's only been 3 or 4 months. It's just that's how long it has felt in 2020. So today he comes out, he says he wants a trade. And this is a guy on the last year of his rookie deal making $9.86 million. And he says, I want 7 teams. 7 teams I will go to, and that is the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Niners, the Ravens, the Eagles, the Seahawks.
So good teams.
And the team we would like to see him get traded to, just because we would love to see the trade offer put out for this man. And that's the Houston Texans, led by genius Bill O'Brien.
Without a doubt.
What do you think is going to happen with this? Are the Jets going to trade him? They've already said no, but you never know what's going to happen. I mean, Dave Gettleman said, I didn't sign OBJ to a contract extension to trade the guy. And then 2 days later, he traded him. So players get dealt, and you don't even realize it. Is Jamal Adams going to be a New York Jet opening day 2020 if we have a season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He may be dealt at some point during the season. I don't know. Listen, Jamal Adams always that there's a comment that I'm laughing at. Anyway, that Jamal Adams has just been what the hell is he? He's just been upset about everything. And we know that Jamal Adams is the best safety in football, right? I mean, in my opinion.
I mean, he's really good, but I think he's mostly a box safety. Yeah, I'll give him top 3, but he's a box safety.
Top 3. So he definitely has value. It just seems like he's a headache. And in today's sports, since I love when people demand trades and come
Mhm.
out and say, these are the teams that I would like to be traded to. It's like, that's not how this works. Like, if Jacksonville gives us something stupid, see ya. Like, if you want to be a dick, you're being a dick.
Yep.
Why are we gonna to fold to you at all? And listen, I get he wants his money. He's worth being paid. It's a lot of money to ask for his position, yes. But he's that good. But at the same time, it's like when you're the New York Jets, you can't afford to be losing blue chip players. I mean, you're trying to build something. And I mean, granted, you would get some great return for Jamal Adams, but you know, teams are going to have to be mindful that they're also trading away assets, and they're going to have to pay him a fortune. And a lot of the teams that he puts on his list, you're like, okay, well, yeah, you'd love to go there, but they don't have any money. So what are they going to, you know? So clearly they're going to be having to trade a player as part of that. I mean, I just think for the Jets, you're trying to build something in Jamal Charles is that blue chip DB guy that you're not going to replace necessarily. You need to make it right. You need to pay the man, and just let's cut it out now. I mean, because I think that team is building something. You know, I think they haven't been great, but I think they're heading in the right direction. They're starting to accumulate talent, and he's not a guy that you can just let walk because, like, look at the Lions. They couldn't work out a relationship with Darius Slay, so they had to trade him. Like, you don't want Darius Slays to be gone. Like, it's just not. Yeah, you think the third-round pick for Darius Slay is what we wanted? Absolutely not. It's terrible.
I mean, I'm with you. They need to pay him, and I'm 100% with you on the fact that Joe Douglas can't go, oh, you know what? Well, the Seahawks offered us a third-round pick for this stud safety, but the Jags offered us 2 firsts, but he doesn't want to go there, so we're not going to deal him there. No, Joe Douglas needs to do what's best for the Jets. And honestly, what's best for the Jets is paying this man because he's the heart of the backbone of your defense. And
there's some guys you pay. There's guys you
exactly.
He's a guy you pay.
You look at his market value; it's probably going to be around $14.7 million because right now the highest paid safety in the NFL is in Chicago. It's Eddie Jackson, and then you got Landon Collins, Earl Thomas, and Tyrann Mathieu at about $14 million. So you got those guys, and he's probably going to get more money because even if he's not better, it's the same deal as every other contract. The next guy's going to get paid more.
Correct.
Pay this man. Do it now because eventually if Darnold has a breakout season this year, they're going to have to start thinking about paying Sammy Darnold soon, or they're going to need to find somebody else. So while you have the cap space, while your quarterback's on the rookie deal, which is a topic we beat to death on this show.
We do.
Front load this contract, get the man paid, and try to do something over the next 2 or 3 years. Because
the problem with the Jets was, though, is the first 2 years under Darnold, the cupboard's been bare. So they've really had to try to, like, pump in talent. And unfortunately, by the time they're going to have to pay Darnold, their windows is going to be – I mean, they could potentially win down the road with Darnold. I'm not saying that, but they're going to have to pay him and going to have to figure out what they're going to do financially before they have an opportunity to win because this team's not ready to win next year. You know, and then the year after that, so again, with the right situation with a quarterback and the rookie deal where you have enough talent that you could build around him, I just think the Jets were kind of bare, and you know, and they're trying to load in talent. They got some nice pieces, but again, you can't let Jamal Adams walk in this situation when you're the Jets.
No, and what hurt him last year is you didn't get to find out really if Darnold was making that step forward because he went and made out with his girlfriend in the back of his car and they got mono. And I mean, he kind of ruined it. But you have to take care of this now. You got to keep this guy, move forward with him.
I like Sam
Get this team moving. I mean, we don't know what he is 100%. I mean, that's a problem with most of these quarterbacks outside of maybe Lamar Jackson, and we'll see what he does this year. We don't know what any of those rookies are right now. So it's a big step. They have to see what they are, and they've got a winnable division. They have a very winnable division because the Patriots don't have a quarterback. Buffalo, are you sold on Josh Allen? He's a hell of a guy who can play tight end, but he hasn't shown accuracy yet. But they got Stephon Diggs, and that maybe he's okay. I mean, who's really going to take advantage of that division right now? That's what we're looking for, and the Jets should be able to do something. They've got the genius Adam Gase. They've got Le'Veon Bell. Now's the time to do something. They've got to step up. We are both on board.
I just see, like, Adam Gase looking at Taco.
That dude's whacked out of his mind. But he's rich, as he will tell you. He's rich.
And I love that.
That's true. He's dead, straight on, straightforward. So let's move on. Deebo Samuel, one of my favorite rookies from last year. Guy I picked to be the Super Bowl MVP, and I was wrong on that, but guy had a pretty damn good game. Broke his foot, working out, team activities.
Tuesday.
They say this could be – he could get back in time for week 1. 10 weeks they're thinking. It is a Jones fracture in the left foot. If Deebo's not back, how much does this hurt the Niners coming out? Maybe
First of all, who in the hell comes up with the names of the fractures? A Jones fracture?
Listen,
Tommy
Mr.
John?
I mean, Tommy John's the only one I understand because Tommy John was the one who did it. I don't know who Jones is. Mr. Jones, like the dude from the Counting Crows song? Like, is that what they were singing about? It was a foot injury? Now that's starting to make more sense to me.
But no, it's rough, man. He was working out. He's out working out. Happened Tuesday. I read that, from what I'm reading, more than likely it may be week 2 or 3 before you see him back, but it's going to be early in the season. Mm-hmm. It's just, man, I'm always watching these videos. Like, I was watching one of Stephon Diggs, and they're just hitting these cone routes, and they're just digging and I'm just like waiting for just like a knee to just explode in front of me.
The Jerry Jeudy one, the CeeDee Lamb one, I've watched all of them with you. I mean, we've got no sports. We need this.
I mean, but no, it sucks because Deebo Samuel is a special kid. He's a special player, and John Lynch and the Niners hit a home run with drafting him where Absolutely. They did, and I hope he gets back healthy because they went with the young kid in the draft, but they're going to need him to step up again, and we'll see if he does it. I like his potential. Get him in space, and he's dynamic, and I love watching him.
Brandon Ayuk, hell of a player, but Deebo Samuel does a little bit of everything for that offense, and he is an excellent run blocker at the wide receiver position. So you need a guy like Deebo on the field if you're going to be running. And that's the way that offense works. So if he's out 4 weeks, that could hurt him, but we'll see. And we got to talk Jimmy G coming up. So we're going to get some Niners. Before we get out of our NFL talk, we need to get to that because we've been talking about this Jared Goff or Jimmy G. And even though I didn't write anything down, I'm sure we can do it off the top of our heads. And I know that Jared Goff's better, so it's cool. So let's move on to Josh Gordon before we get to there. Josh Gordon, like you texted me a little bit earlier, trying to get reinstated. It's every year.
Listen, I'm so damn sick. I'm sick of talk. I mean, of course we got to talk about it because it's football news, but this dude's an ass. He's a moron. Honestly, at this point, I don't care. And now I guess weed won't be tested, but his ass should still be. He failed 46 of them. You should. If you get arrested 46 times, you don't just not be on probation. You still got a piss test. Like Josh Gordon's failed a million times, and whether it's legal or not, he should be held to the guy. I don't know how he's not banned for life at this point. The dude's been suspended 8 or 9. It's twice a year.
Yep.
And I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's like, dude. By the time that you're maybe clean, you're going to be 39, and nobody's going to you're ruining you lost. We talk about it. At one point, he had not made $1 million, and this was a point last year.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who was basically drafted. He was drafted in the supplemental draft with Brandon Weeden and Trent Richardson in 2012 by the Browns. I mean, that's 2012. They used a second-round supplemental pick. Got Josh Gordon. This guy looked like the star of all stars, best wide receiver ever, with Jason Campbell, Brian Hoyer, and Brandon Weeden throwing him the football. And then he's just doped himself out of the league. Like, when you said how many more chances does he get, it makes me think, whatever happened to Justin Blackmon? Like, he was having the same issues, and Justin Blackmon fell off the face of the earth. Josh Gordon at least has come back, and I'm with you. I'm sick of talking about it.
It's just, to me, though, like, it's like, is it all weed that he's getting busted for? I don't know if it's all weed, like, because there's been stories like there's alcohol problems, there's potentially other substances in there. Like, so, listen, Josh Gordon, we're kind of sick of you. You had a great opportunity in Seattle. You did up. You know, you had a great opportunity in New England. Like at this point, I was rooting for Josh Gordon. 2 years ago, I took Josh Gordon in like the first round of my fantasy league. It screwed me. To hell with you, Josh Gordon. I hope that he doesn't just keep getting suspended. But like, I mean, if you're the NFL and somebody continues to fail something over and over and over and over, just because it's not like the people that are still in the controlled substance abuse suspension portfolio should still be they should still get tested.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
As long as it's not me.
I do like this question. We do have a question here. With players possibly being out for COVID this season or being in quarantine, I think we'll start seeing some second and third string players that shine. And who would you keep an eye on in terms of off the bench backups? It's an excellent question. Guys definitely, I mean, running backs especially, and rookies especially. If you got anyone who is, especially if you know a guy is an outgoing kind of guy, he's got that outgoing personality, and he's going around more people, look at the guy's personality off the field, check out those guys, see who their backups are. That's who I'm going to be looking at. You know, a lot of the Browns players who love to talk. You've got OBJ who loves the spotlight. Is he going to be going out during the season? Is this a possibility that, you know, it's going to be a shot for Rashard Higgins to shine, maybe a Donovan Peoples-Jones to shine for the Browns? Look at the players who like to go out, who are putting themselves in more of a risk of getting COVID-19, and find out who their backups are. Off the top of my head, I don't have anybody right this second, but those are the kind of players I'd be looking out for. How about you?
No, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, here's the deal. They're talking about making practice squads up to 16 people at this point, just because of the concern that Eric brings up, the concern that people are going to go down. And I think that immediate, I guess, rookie impact is going to be at the wide receiver position, without a doubt. We talked about it all offseason long with how great this wide receiver class is. And we know that's a position that people are going to go down. The other interesting position as far as backups go, you look at some of these quarterbacks. I mean, some of these quarterbacks aren't even on teams at this point.
Cam?
You know, Cam Newton will start a game in 2020. It will happen. I just don't know where yet, but that's going to be interesting as well. But you guys are going to get opportunities, man, because somebody's going to test positive. I mean, it's just the way it is. Like, somebody's going to. So think of it. I'm not comparing it to the flu, so I don't want any crazy liberal people taking my head off here, right? I'm just saying. So think about like the flu. Like, people get sick. Like, people are going to get this disease, and it's going to go and it's going to spike and things, and there's going to be guys that are going to get opportunities that they necessarily might not have at other times. And it'll be interesting to see the medical staff try to hide Brady's corona. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going to happen. Like, he'll be asymptomatic, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, I mean, yeah, Brady's fine." They'll be like, "Well, there was a report he had coronavirus."
He's going to come out with a full motorcycle helmet on with a mask underneath it. I mean, they're going to do everything they can.
Have you seen some of these prototype helmets and stuff?
Yeah,
these guys wouldn't be able to breathe. They wouldn't be able to breathe.
See these dudes just huffing and puffing with these. I mean, they look like they come under the neck. Like, it's unbelievable. We definitely need to dig up some of those. We'll definitely talk about it next week for sure. But yeah, excellent question, Eric. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
I mean,
I'm going to hit on DeChambeau too. But when we're going to have a golf segment, I'm going to hit on DeChambeau too.
All right, we will get to that.
Also known as the Hulk, the freaking Hulk. The dudes are.
Before we get out of the NFL and move on to the NBA, because this is the full coverage football show normally, but tonight it's just full coverage. we've been talking Jared Goff, who I think is better than Jimmy G, and Jimmy G, who you think is better than Jared Goff. So let's go here. Who is the more accurate out of the two quarterbacks, Jimmy G or Jared Goff?
You're not going to do this to me. No, we're not starting right there. That's not what we're doing.
All right, start wherever. Go ahead.
Because you're not going to throw some bullshit ass accuracy. You're not going to throw some bullshit ass accuracy numbers and say, "Hey, Drew,
I have no numbers.
Oh, it's
I have absolutely no numbers.
I mean, here's the deal. What is Jimmy G's starting record as a quarterback compared to Jared Goff's?
It's pretty damn good.
Jimmy G doesn't lose football games.
That's true. Except the Super Bowl.
I mean, here's the deal. Listen, Jared Goff, Jimmy G, both have 0 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Both have opportunities at Super Bowls. I also would say, yeah, Jimmy, he's right. Chris is right. I mean, he's not an idiot. I don't know what the hell we're talking about here. How are you going to tell me Jared Goff is – listen, Sean McVay, although Kyle Shanahan's maybe just as good, everybody's going to kill you on this because you're walking off a damn cliff for no reason. I don't know what the hell you're doing here. You know that Jimmy Garoppolo is better. Jimmy Garoppolo is an undervalued quarterback. I think people think of Jimmy Garoppolo in the Jared Goff conversation, and I think it's unfair. I think Goff is a tier below. I think Sean McVay did wonderful things to make Jared Goff comfortable in that offense, as did Kyle Shanahan. The thing that we saw with Goff, though, with their inability to kind of run the ball very well last year, Jared Goff was super inconsistent. He becomes inaccurate when he gets pressured and has to move out of the pocket. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is better on the run. I think he's more accurate if you want to, if you got your stats in front of you. And I think he's more poised, and I think he's more clutch, and I think he's in big situations he's better, except the fly route to Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he skied that one. But to me, I think this is fun just because, in all honesty, I think they're basically the same guy. Except when it comes to intangibles, I give that to Jimmy G because dude made a porn star tap out. So going off the field, I'm going to give that to Jimmy G. And
wow, that's impressive.
I mean, I don't know about that one.
That's aggressive, brother. I like it, but it's aggressive.
I don't know about that. But yeah, Goff, listen, I think Goff's an excellent quarterback as long as Sean McVay's telling him exactly what to do. And I think for Jimmy G, he needs Josh McDaniels. He needs Kyle Shanahan to help him do what he needs to do. Because if they're not running the ball in San Francisco, he's not winning games. They're basically the same quarterback to me. And I will fight for Goff because I was so big on him coming out in that draft. I have to keep sticking up for him. But in that same draft, I had Paxton Lynch better than Carson Wentz. So I just killed my credibility on this subject completely.
The best part go ahead. People will be able to go back and listen to like 5 hours of us say that people are going to be super awesome and they're going to be an absolute train wreck and be out of the league in a year. And then you guys will have the opportunity to come here and put your damn messages how we're dumbasses. And we'll have to sit here and eat crow, and that'll be how it works.
It happens. I mean, NFL GMs are usually wrong. We're going to be wrong sometimes. Now, before we move on here, we're going to get to the NBA. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank everyone for listening. Please check out our sponsors. Manhattan Deli Menor, 440-974-0055. Call for carryout. Come into the restaurant, whatever you want to do. Conceal carry firearms training, 440-391-4118. And Kitty Cove Daycare. Check them out on Facebook at Kitty Cove OH. That's right. Food, guns, and babies. That's what the Full Coverage Football Show is sponsored by. And speaking of things that don't make sense, Kyrie Irving. Is the NBA going to come back July 31st, or is it going to be Kyrie's Kinspova League or whatever the hell that thing I texted you the other day was? What's going on with the NBA, bro?
Oh, the NBA's coming back.
For sure.
Kyrie can take his little bitch ball and go home if he wants.
Listen, here's the deal, man. Kyrie's not giving up $40 million guaranteed. We know that. He's just full of crap.
Here's the deal. And I get that people are upset with things that are going on in the earth right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
it's not about right now, today. It's about the cap and how this would affect the cap in the NBA moving forward. I mean, we're used to these numbers just skyrocketing, and then, you have Peeves pay over luxury tax. But this is going to be a huge hit if the NBA doesn't come back. Just based off TV rights alone, it's going to be a huge hit. The players need to come back. And now, this is kind of how it is with most things in life, right? You hear the outspoken guys. You hear an Avery Bradley or a Kyrie Irving or a Dwight Howard or what you have. I think they're the minority in this. I think guys want to get back and play now. With that being said, the whole thing's regret. I mean, we're playing in this bubble. Like dude, have you read some of the shit? They have smart rings that can track if they're getting symptomatic within like up to 3 days ahead of when they can actually have the virus. And they can't leave. And there's an anonymous hotline that players can call if people are breaking rules. It's unbelievable.
It's just going to be Lonzo Ball.
It's going to be Kyrie. Are you kidding me? Kyrie's going to be snitching on everyone because he doesn't want to be there anyway. He's going to follow LeBron around in a car with like a camera and just taking pictures of him. But no, I give the NBA credit for being aggressive, for doing whatever they can to make it work and going into this bubble. And I think basketball is going to happen. Of course, we don't know. There's concerns, man. There's concerns because states are starting to spike here and there. I mean, of course, there's concerns. But for right now, I will tell you, I'm gonna root my ass off for any sport. I don't care what it is. And I'm gonna say it's gonna happen. And until it doesn't happen, that's what I'm going with.
Listen, NBA needs to come back because this is a league that is the largest majority of the players are African American. And they have a chance here to get their message out ahead in front of the entire world who's going to be listening because there are no other sports to watch in America. And
exactly. Yep.
I mean, that's been argued. You've been on Twitter with someone telling you it wasn't true, and then I've talked to a bunch of people who are with it and then against it. Either way, this is a huge platform for these players. And the guys who came out, like Dwight Howard's like, oh, I got to stand up for those. He's going to go back to his $20 million mansion in Atlanta. Like, Dwight, you're going to go back and you're going to chill in your $20 million crib. Kyrie wants to talk about going to a new league. He's got $40 million guaranteed. He's not going anywhere. Get these guys on the court. Get them back to doing what they do and they love. LeBron's going to play, so basically everyone's going to play just like, who was it, Jamal Crawford said it, or I don't remember who it was. But
if LeBron plays, everybody's playing.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Who the hell voted Kyrie Irving the vice president of the Players Association? Who the hell did that? Like, what was that? Who thought the dude that thought the earth was flat was the right guy to hire for that position?
What did Kendrick Perkins say? If you put Kyrie's brain in a bird, the bird would fly backwards. I mean, Kendrick's been on a squad with Kyrie. He knows what's up. Kyrie, love the guy as a player, but he's a different cat. I interviewed Kyrie his rookie year, and I knew right off the bat he was a different kind of dude. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to wander over here and talk to this tall, lerpy, skinny kid from Texas, Tristan Thompson. Totally different. But NBA, you need to come back. Get back on the court. Because if you don't, talked about the money they're going to lose salary cap-wise. You talked about everything going on. They need to get back. Let me see this.
NFL. Every time.
Oh, yeah, NFL.
The NFL is like the Green Giant, and the NBA it's a nice person, but it's like Yao Ming. Like the Green Giant would just smash Yao Ming down. No, but I like it. But the NFL, what it does, the audience it draws. That's why sports go out of their way to avoid to try to be on Sundays in the middle. Like it could be an NBA Finals game. You're going to get guys watching the NFL over it. It's just the way it is. Hockey, NASCAR, and golf. There's a sport that's not in there that I think is completely missing the ball.
Yep. And we are going to talk about it in just a second here. And your Sunday point is going to ring true. And those for listening on the audio version, Chris asked the NBA against the NFL, who wins that battle? For hockey right now, NASCAR and golf are winning. And they are because they're actually back.
Yep.
But yeah, NFL rules everything. And NFL knows that. And they're probably going to get out on the field and they're going to do everything they can. They're going to have blow up locker rooms out in the parking lots of these places. They're setting everything up to make sure they're back because they know they dominate. And even if we miss, if we miss a few NFL games, it's going to drive us crazy. We've missed
I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed.
We've missed half of an MLB season, and meanwhile,
we're
MLB.
Yeah, we're like, hey,
I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yet, for me, MLB, it's slowly killing itself. Is it fixable? I think it might be, but you got to do a lot of things to change it. And what sucks about it is baseball was my favorite sport for so long, and it's just progressively gotten away from what made it great, and it hasn't changed with the times. What made baseball great is it's a game you could go to with your family, and it was good enough you could talk about the sport, but you had enough time to also be there and talk with your family. That's why it was America's pastime, because it was something the entire family could do. So is baseball going to come back? What do you think they're going to do? Are they ever going to get this right? Are they going to come back? And is it fixable? I'll let you go now because I got a lot of ideas on this, so I'm going to let you hit it right now.
Well, you and I had a decent back and forth banter via text. I mean, here's the deal. Baseball's going to come back. They'll end up settling on 65 games, but nobody wins because this entire thing was an absolute disaster and a stain on Rob Manfred and the MLB. The fact that this has gotten the media's take, I mean, literally at this point, folks, if you don't know where we're at, finally, the Major League Baseball decided, hey, we'll prorate every game, but you get 100% salary for every game. So the MLB said, all right, perfect. Hey, we'll go with 60 games. First of all, the MLB should have done this shit back in March, but anyway, or April. But here we go. So they say, all right, we'll do 60 games. And the players, of course, want more games because it's more salary. All of a sudden, they say, hey, we'll play 60 games. And we get word last night, hey, it's going to happen. Baseball's going to happen. Players want 70, and the owners are not going to even counter. It's embarrassing.
The owners are giving the silent treatment. Like, no, I'm not going to talk to you about it. I'm going to get a bit angry.
65 is just play 65. That's what clearly the players want is 65 games. Have you ever watched freaking House Hunters or anything? Damn it. If you want it if it's 160 or 170 and you want it for 165, you offer 160 and you get it for 165. That's how it works. It's unbelievable. And the problem is, though, and the thing that fires me up about baseball, and baseball may or may not be fixable. There's certainly dimensions that could be fixed, could be more fan interactive, but baseball had a chance to get out, and for baseball should be played right now. They should be playing right now. They had the opportunity to get a deal in place, get a abbreviated spring training, if you will, and be back on the field right now with an entire month before the NBA is going to hit.
Yep.
And what are people going to do? They're going to watch baseball. And nobody is, again, we go back to, in the MLB is going to run into this. So now you have everything is kind of butting up. So you're going to have MLB, NBA, because the MLB will get done.
Yep.
It's just absolutely embarrassing we've got to this point. And, I mean, that's where I'm at with it. I mean, I really think it is. But they'll end up at 65 games tonight or tomorrow, and it'll be what it is. But the fact that in a time where nobody has a job, people are struggling, you're going to sit here and publicly argue over 10 games? That's where we're at with this, really? After we already had to get you to in this, what normally I would not necessarily agree with the players, but this is the owners. The owners got over on the players in their collective bargaining agreement. It definitely favored the owners. And here's all the players are asking for is, hey, if we play 70 games, we just get a full paycheck for 70 games. It's just that simple. And the owners are being cheap. And we already know, look in Cleveland, you know, the Dolans say they don't have any money. I mean, come on. The fact is, these people are making money. The owners are just, it's gotten embarrassing. And I think from what could have been just so good for the game of baseball because people are dying for sports, dying for it. I mean, shit, I watched like 4 laps in NASCAR the other day.
I know you don't like NASCAR.
And I mean, I have no respect. I mean, I NASCAR, people love it, but I mean, I'll watch. We're just dying, man. We want something, and
I mean, you said it perfectly. I was watching 2 hours of pro cornhole, on Saturday. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I watching this? It's because it's competition.
I told you, dude, I've literally watched every day the golf has been on. I've watched at least 7 or 8 hours of every single day.
I believe it. And competition,
which is kind of normal, but yeah,
all we need. And baseball, which isn't competitive with any of the other major sports anymore, because it has lost touch with everything that made it great. It's lost touch with its fan base. It's lost touch with trying to gain new fans. It's lost touch with the fact that it, of all sports, is the most worldwide sport. You have players from Korea, China, Japan, Mexico.
I want you to name every country.
Venezuela.
Name every country, sir.
I mean, Canada. You have them. The United States. Paraguay. I mean, I don't know where else. I'm running out of countries. I don't know if there's any European baseball players right now, if there's a player from Ireland. Because even me, as a diehard baseball fan, I've even given up on the sport to some point. Because baseball, as much as I love it, I got a Francisco Lindor jersey hanging behind me. And all I know is that right now we have lost a year of having that guy. It should, because right now you hit it on the head. The way baseball's set up, it's not set up for a team in Cleveland to do well unless they absolutely kill the draft and you end up like the Tampa Rays and you figure out a way to work around the issues. It's set up for all the big teams. You know LA, you know Boston, you know New York, you know those teams. Baseball was a sport where you'd come home after school and at 2:20 on a Wednesday afternoon, you would turn on WGN, the superstation, back before we had a million channels. Yeah. And you would hear Harry Carey and Steve Stone, and you would get, holy cow, you get Harry Carey drunk off his ass, calling a game. And I mean, the Cubs are down 10-2. But I know guys like Sean Dunston, Mark Grace, guys Ryan Sandberg, who I thought was an amazing player, who really wasn't as great as I thought he was. It's just these were the guys you could watch when you came home. These were teams where you knew who they were. We've talked about it a million times.
Because the Cubs overall were ass.
Yeah, they've been terrible. But we talked about it a million times, how we would get home and we would read the newspaper and you would want to look at the box scores. Baseball. Hey, box scores. Love box scores.
Love box
Start using your social media platforms. Start coming up to 2020 using social media, using the internet, MLB.com app. Hit us up with those box scores sent directly to our phone. Push them to our phone. NFL pushes every little thing that happens to your phone. LaShawn McCoy runs for 4 yards but broke a tackle in the backfield. That is instantly sent to your phone. Whether it's from ESPN, Bleacher Report, NFL.com, it doesn't matter. MLB, you need to step up and get with the times. And you can do that.
You're right. We talked about the social media aspect.
We should play a game coming up at some point next time we go just full coverage and we don't do just football, where we put up pictures of people and ask them if they're an MLB player or just a random dude, because we've talked about it again so many times, even on this show, that Mike Trout could walk in a Walmart, go through the whole store and no one would bother him. Meanwhile, J.J. Watt, who wears a helmet on his head and only plays 16 games a year, maybe they get to a 17th if Bill O'Brien doesn't blow it in the playoffs, but he can get recognized anywhere.
Mike Trout might be the best baseball player of all time. Ever.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Unbelievable.
And we talked about just the last thing here on the whole. You kind of hit the nail on the head when you said the beauty of baseball is the ability to watch the game and still interact with your family or still interact like. I love grilling and watching a game. Or like you don't necessarily have to give 100% of your time. So what we brought up, and I think it's a great idea, is fan interaction. I think with all the downtime in baseball, there should be more fan interaction on social media, interviews with players to get to know who these people are.
Let them show their personality.
Grow their brand.
Exactly.
And baseball can grow its brand. And I also think what people will realize, and hopefully MLB realizes, the shorter season's what needs to happen anyway. Because it makes every game that much more meaningful. And I think we get into the dog days of summer with baseball, and it's just like the Tigers who lose like 110 games, and we're playing. It's just like, that's dog shit. With a 60-game season, hey, the Tigers will be in the race for like 3 or 4 weeks.
I mean, MLB, I'm fine. Like, if they stay 162 games, that's fine. But you have to do something different about that. And an idea that we talked about was getting back to traditional doubleheaders. Do it on Saturday. No games on Sunday anymore. Leave that for the NFL. Leave it for NASCAR. Leave it for the final round of major golf tournaments. Because then on Saturday, when you're playing back-to-back games, you have an opportunity to not only bring a ton of people into your stadium, but you have a ton of people to watch, because Saturday sports, for the most part, I mean, until you get into fall when you're battling NCAA football, Saturdays are open.
Even mostly early college football is a bunch of Ohio State versus Akron bullshit anyway. So, it's a 75-2 game. So, I mean, that was a really weird score I came up with there.
It's totally possible.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, they have to do something. And it sucks, because the other thing is that this kind of goes by the wayside. People don't really talk about it. They're cutting a lot of the minor leagues, man.
Yeah.
And these are games that, we can take our kids to for $10 or whatever it is, and just show them a good time, because that's what baseball. And again, you and I try to pass this down to our kids, and they tried to pass, our parents tried to pass down to, us. And it's just that was the beauty. You go to a ball game, and nowadays I take my wife to a ball game. She wants to leave in the second inning, and it's just my life. But like, that was the nice thing about minor league baseball, and we used to watch the Toledo Mud Hens all the time, is you can just go, and it's cheap, and you like great seats, and you're watching AAA baseball, AA baseball, and those are kind of going away now. Yep. And I think you are kind of seeing the effects of a country shut down, and how this is affecting people on the back. I mean, I know the Tigers have fired like 48 personnel from their organization. They fired 3 people for drinking beers in a parking lot after their shift. I mean, listen, things are being cut. It's tough, but I mean, come on. The draft, the MLB draft's usually 706 rounds. It was like 6 this year.
Yeah.
So you got way less people getting the opportunity to live out their dream, and that's just kind of where we're at right now. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes, because at the same time, you have tons of players, and you also need replacements for these players because of this disease that you've deemed to be extremely dangerous. And so we'll see what happens.
And you hit it right on the head, where it just shows how much baseball has lost touch with the little people. It's millionaires and billionaires right now fighting for money, and that's all we're seeing. Everything else is getting
10 games.
I mean, yeah, and everything else is getting ignored. Baseball needs to get its head out of its ass. Rob Manfred, I've already said it on this show, and I will stick to it. Worst commissioner in all of sports, and that's even with Gary Bettman in the NHL, who I'm told is terrible. I don't watch enough NHL to really know, but Manfred sucks. And Tony Clark, MLBPA, dude, get your head out of your ass. Get these guys back on the field, because for some of these guys, they're not getting younger. They're not going to have that. I mean, for all of them, they're not getting younger, but they're not going to have that many years ahead of them. I mean, get them back on the field.
Just one more thing, and then we'll move on. I'm just interested to see what this does to the entire Francisco Lindor fiasco. I mean, or to see what happens, because we don't know.
You look at both of our teams. Lindor probably going to be dealt soon. Your team, this was a chance for them. You knew they were going to suck this year, but this was your minor leaguers.
We need
younger kids. They were going to develop. And then next year you could look at, okay, maybe they were going to start doing something. And here, I'll answer this question. I went to a ton of them, and I love the old stadium. Municipal Stadium, it was a dump, but I loved it. And that's another excellent thing about baseball. is you look at every other sport. Football, it's 100 yards. You know what the field's going to look like. Basketball, 90-foot court. What separates baseball? All the stadiums are different measurements in the outfield. You don't know how short porch, high walls, everything's different. That's what makes them great. You can go to them and see different palaces for an excellent game that is being killed by selfish players or really selfish owners who don't want to lose any money. And players are just trying to get their piece of the pie from the owners, and millionaires and billionaires fighting. Go ahead.
See, I don't want to push this down because I think it's bullshit what we're doing here. While I agree with you, baseball, the game itself, the actual 9-inning game has many flaws. And I don't think until those flaws are at least improved, the game has any chance. I mean, here's the deal. Whether they would have got viewers and it would have grown the game before, it's a slow-ass game, and it needs sped up. And whatever you got to do to do it, you got to do it, okay? And I think in those 9 innings, listen, what they do is they say, oh, hey, we sped this up, and this will speed a game up by 1 minute. I think for most people, and not myself, I can sit there and watch 9 innings. But for most people, that's too much. It's just
I feel you.
They gotta fix that as well, but they missed the boat here. They missed it, like we talked about. And what does this do for them moving forward? From what could have been an opportunity, you let greed get in the way to something that's already on the decline. And is that the decision that ends up pretty much just not? I mean, baseball will always be around, but pretty much just putting baseball into oblivion.
And you're right with the fact that nowadays it is a slower game. And you look at it, and why is it more boring to people? Because they don't grow up watching it and wanting to see the little things that are going on. And it's not growing as families go to baseball games anymore. It's like you would sit there and, scoring. I talked about scoring. We talked about scoring a baseball game in your text.
Scoring a sheet of paper. Yeah.
Loved it.
Yep.
Now, if you get a whole family together, you can get generations passing it down. Let them do it on an iPad or an iPhone, when you're any phone you go in with, and let an older generation teach a younger generation while the younger generation teaches the older generation how to use that iPad or iPhone or whatever device. And baseball, you look at it. And I watched Long Gone Summer, the ESPN 30 for 30, which I thought was terrific. It used to be fun to watch. That Sammy Sosa hop, when he hit a home run and all that made baseball fun then.
You
don't see anybody doing that now.
I was living in Illinois when I was growing up, and everybody loved Sammy Sosa. Here's the cold, honest truth. Steroids is better. Baseball is better than steroids, dude. I mean, it was.
You look at. Everyone wants to hate on the steroid era. Mark McGwire probably would have hit 65 home runs regardless. The guy hit 50 as a rookie.
Barry Bonds was the best hitter I've ever seen before he ever took any. When he was with the Pirates and he weighed 120 pounds, he was still the best hitter I've ever seen. He was steal base. He had the most triples in the league. So let's, like you said, let's not act like Sosa and McGwire. Like, you have to be special in general.
The Brady Andersons hitting 50 home runs, those were the problem.
Yeah, Sammy Sosa, though, he went over the top. He would cork that shit and steroids. Like, you can only do one, Sammy. You're only allowed
one or the other.
Yeah. But no, that era was fun.
Baseball, you look at it, baseball set itself up for that problem because they had no rules. And then all of a sudden, after it all came out, they wanted to, oh, no, we don't want that. You didn't set the rules to begin with. That's the problem with baseball. It never gets out ahead of the problems. It always is trying to catch up later. Go ahead.
Not the problem. That is the problem. And I don't know why we're talking about baseball so much. The problem is there's no goddamn salary cap is the problem.
100%.
That's the problem. You have teams that can just outpay everybody else. In my Tigers with Mr. I and rest in peace, we used to do that shit and it was fun, but now that we can't do it, I don't like it anymore.
You're still paying like $35 million to the corpse of Miguel Cabrera, but he's still a great player to watch, but I mean, you paid for it. And yeah, we have spent a lot of time on baseball, but it's because it's so frustrating and we could feel like we could fix it. I mean, fix it. We like it, but we can look at the little things and like it still. But
Right.
it's getting everyone else back into it and making it fun again. And you look at us, we're both wearing our hats backwards right now. Ken Griffey Jr. was first guy to really start doing that, and baseball started that. Baseball was a part of pop culture, and they've ruined it. And yeah, Albert Bell went 50 home runs, 50 doubles, and lost to Mo Vaughn of the fucking Boston Red Sox. Boston got in a car, drove to the yard, went to the bar, got some chowder, and got outvoted on a stinking MVP by a bunch of chowder heads. Yeah, that killed me as a kid, and I hated it. Screw you, Mo Vaughn. And now Mo Vaughn Trucking is actually advertised in Progressive Jacobs Field, whatever you want to call it these days. So yeah, baseball, pull your head out of your ass, listen to us, get it back together, and let's move on
They
before we
won't
lose our
go.
mind. I feel like there's another sport going on. And hey, Drew, did you know golf is back, baby?
I can acknowledge the Bryson DeChambeau comment. Well, let's go back up to that comment.
Let me get out. Okay, let me get to that.
Yes, he should. So Bryson DeChambeau, I don't know if you know who he is or not. He's the ultimate just clown, like, right? So they call him the scientist. All his irons are the same length, right? So in a golf bag, you have progressions where your shorter irons, your wedges, and 9-irons are a little shorter, and then you go up. This dude's clubs are all the same length. He literally went into the gym and just is now all of a sudden ripped. He's the longest player on tour. He's the absolute worst, though. He's the most annoying. Oh, Christ. I mean, I would tell you right now, Bryson DeChambeau, while a good player and fun to watch now that he just smashes the ball for no damn reason. Yeah, look at him. So, yeah, just stop this, dude. I mean, this guy's an ant. Dude, this guy, I swear to you, he was 35. This guy is on steroids. This guy is Mark McGuire. Dude, so his ball speed, I don't want to get into ball speed and stuff, but his club head speed is nearing 130, which is like ridiculous. And all of a sudden, he just goes from just being a decent player. I mean, a good player, but he's won multiple times. I think he has 4 or 5 wins. But now he's out. He's hitting it 20 yards past Rory McIlroy and Dustin Johnson. And from what I heard, they're at Harbor Town this week, and he was smashing drives through the driving range into people's backyards, and they had to ask him to stop. So Bryson should be in WWE because and they also said he went from a medium shirt to pretty much an extra large shirt at this point. And
he roided up.
Yeah, this has got to be roided up. But golf's back, baby. The golf's back because I'm watching because I got this PGA Tour Live shit, and I watch golf all the time. But so of course I watched all last week. But today, man, my boy Spieth, he made triple bogey on the 3rd hole. On the back 9, he ends up making 6 birdies in a row. 7 on the back 9 for 29. I mean, golf is back. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm looking forward to the weekend this week. Harbor Town's a fun course, dude. Jeremy, you got to tune into some of this golf, dude. This course, every hole is straight line with woods, and you can be in the fairway and have to hit it around a tree. It's ridiculous. I would not enjoy playing there as much as these guys seem to do, but it's fun. And it's another stacked field. The nice thing about these 2 events, like Colonial, I played Colonial many times when I was in Dallas. And that's a beautiful golf course. But these 2 events, the beauty is they never get the fields they're getting. And just because golf came back when it did, and all these players have been waiting to play, these fields have been loaded. So we're in for some good golf here. And the big cat's on the prowl somewhere. He will be making his return here soon. Because
where his yacht is this week?
I do track his yacht. Yeah, it's not a big deal. But I trust me, he'll be back soon, and major season's right around the corner too. So golf's it's gonna be hyper gear. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Who's winning this week?
I'll take George Spieth again for some dumb reason. I could take him, he chokes, but that's my guy, so I'll roll with him. No. And the thing is, Phil won't. See, Phil won't do that.
And for those listening on the audio only version, the question is, should Phil hang it up and go to the old man's tour? And Drew emphatically says no.
No, I mean, he won just at Pebble Beach, a year and a half ago. I mean, so still his ball speed, and he's still hitting what he would say are bombs. He's kind of erratic. He needs to start finding more fairways, but Phil's going to be good a few weeks a year, and that's kind of where his game is right now. Because at this point, he just stands up and just tries to just smash the cover off the ball. I think he'll win maybe again, maybe once or twice. I don't think he'll win a major again. That elusive U.S. Open, I still do not think he'll ever win. But I still think Phil moves the ball out there well enough to continue to at least compete. He just has to, get out of his own way. But that could be all.
Right now, who is the most underrated player on the tour?
Colin Morikawa.
Okay.
Yeah, so Colin Morikawa came out with Matthew Wolff and Victor Hovland, who both played for Oklahoma State, which Oklahoma State, if you don't know, is a powerhouse in golf. So Oklahoma State's kind of like Bama in college football. Ricky Fowler went there, a bunch of guys went there. But this Colin Morikawa kid, he came out with like some fantastic rookie. He's already won. The dude hasn't missed a cut since he's been on tour, and he basically went from college golf, said, "Hey, I'm turning pro," jumped right onto the PGA Tour and hasn't missed a cut. And the dude is probably one of the best iron players that I've seen in a long time.
See, we might have to branch out here and do a full hour of golf one day, where I will just throw in random questions, because our golf segment, the last time we talked golf, probably one of our best segments ever, and it's because, dude, you are just so passionate about golf. Like, I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I'm not even part of the show right now. I'm watching you, and I'm like, I'm enjoying the hell out of this. So I hope everyone else is too, because it's fucking great to watch you just rattle off stuff, and you know what you're talking about. And the question is, Ricky Fowler, will he win a major?
I don't know. I mean, it's right now with the state of his game, he's going through a lot of swing changes with his coach, and it's a tough week for him, especially at Harvard Town this week because it's such a tight golf course. I want to say yes because I really like Ricky, and Ricky's come so close in a lot of majors. We know he has a Players Championship, and with magical things he did on 17 at Sawgrass, the Island Green, birdieing it 3 times in a row in the playoff. But I just don't see it right now, and I hope he does. But with the state of his game, we would say that he's a player that's definitely kind of been underwhelming as far as what we thought he would do.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best putting stroke on tour, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see him winning again. But if he does, look out for Augusta because I think he plays well there.
Best golf video game ever.
Man, it's got to be one of those old Tiger Woods, right? Where you could just
the Xbox when you had the white button where you could roll the ball.
I used to have this game when I was a kid for the computer, the PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a Inverness, or it was Firestone. It was just a game at Firestone, and it was the shittiest game ever. But I remember that was my favorite game. But the thing about the golf games now is you just can dominate. You and I play the Rory McIlroy. We just shoot 59.
That's $5 I think I ever spent on a video game, man. Well worth it. Yeah, I couldn't keep up with you. I was shooting like a 62, and you were beating me by 3 strokes. It wasn't fair anymore. Now, great talk golf, and we're definitely going to add that to part of the show. This might eventually move into where we're just full coverage, period. But before we get out of here tonight, because we're almost at our hour, one more thing. The last show we did, it was National Burger Day. We talked about the best burger we had. And today, it's National Splurge Day. I Googled this just to see what day it was. What is something you randomly splurge money on that's like the biggest thing you ever just splurged money on? Just random question out of here.
I mean, see, like nowadays I don't play golf but 6 to 8 times a year. So I don't know if it's randomly splurging, but golf, you got to understand about golf, right? If you go play somewhere nice, it's running you 2 to 3 bills on the normal, and you can't hide that from the wife forever. So, but no, I to be honest with you, I don't randomly. That's a really good question. I don't know. You didn't tell me you're going to say that. It's national.
No, I figured I'd just throw it out there and be like, I got to really think about this one.
I'll tell you what. I did go through a time where I spent like $30 on chicken wings a week for like a 2.5 month period. Well, beer is.
That's not random. That's just always.
That's part of the grocery list. Yeah. And Justin Thomas can win any golf tournament. Justin Thomas is probably like my second or third favorite player in the entire world. He's a rock star.
So anyone else listening, the question was National Splurge Day. What's something you randomly splurge money on? Anyone who wants to check us out, hit me up on Twitter at SomervilleCLE. Hit Drew up at DetroitDave7, I believe it is. Hit us up on the podcast at FCFS Pod. On the Facebook page, that's facebook.com/FCFS Pod. And for me, the most ridiculous thing I ever splurged money on, I spent $1,200 on a 42-inch LCD TV, like when they first came out. And
that seems something. Now you get a 90. You get a 90.
I'm thinking like $1,200 back then. Like I got a 60-inch TV sitting to my left. I spent like $290 on. Yep. So yeah, $1,200 on a LCD Philips 42-inch TV. That was ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I'm not one to randomly splurge. I usually overthink my purchases, like even the stupid stuff. So absolutely. Anything else you want to get to before we get out of here tonight?
No, man. Let's hope when we meet next week that all the sports are still ready to go, or at least baseball is ready to go, and the NBA hasn't stopped being ready to go.
If baseball's not back,
it will be back. It'll be back.
Done. I mean, it's killing itself.
65 games.
Give us something.
65. They'll meet in the middle. It's negotiation.
So next week, when we come back, we'll be live, hopefully 9 to 10. You know, we can just go wherever. Live show on Facebook. That's fb.me/FCFS Pod. Audio version available on Spotify, Apple Pods, Google Pods, iHeart, and Anchor. Anywhere you listen to your pods, we are there. Next week, hopefully we got a big show for you. Might have 2 guests on. One has guaranteed me a spot around 9:30 p.m. The other said he may be available at 9:20 p.m., but he's going to let me know for sure tomorrow. We might have 2 good guests, one to talk about this year's draft and offensive line, and one maybe an up-and-coming star in the draft world who's going to start talking about next year's draft and who we should look at when the NCAA season starts. And with that, we're done, and I think Josh Gordon needs to not be talked about on this show anymore before we get out of here.
I agree.
Unless he starts doing something.
Correct.
More
if he does, then we'll talk about
him. More hate on baseball if they're not back next week. Kyrie's brain. Maybe put it in a bird, just see if it flies backwards. And with that, thank you for joining us. Drew, great show as always. Love listening to you talk golf.
Thank you, sir.
And as always, remember, if you live the life you love, you'll love the life you live. Night, kids.